Chapter 5. A Journey Through the Desert. It was evening when we set up our camp, and the great ball of the sun was sinking into the desert, sending rays of many-colored lights flying all over its vast expanse. I took Sir Henry with me, and walking to the top of the slope opposite, we gazed across the desert. The air was very clear, and far away I could make out the faint blue outlines, here and there capped with white, of the Solomonberg.
"There,"
I said.
"there is a wall around Solomon's mines, but God knows if we shall ever climb it."
Behind us, also gazing earnestly towards the far-off mountains, stood the great Ambopa. He said,
"The desert is wide, and there is no water in it. The mountains are high and covered with snow, and man cannot say what lies beyond. How shall you go there, and why do you go?"
answered Sir Henry.
"I go because I believe that a man of my blood, my brother, has gone there before me, and I journey to seek him."
"It is a far journey."
"Yes,"
answered Sir Henry.
"it is far, but there is no journey upon this earth that a man may not make if he sets his heart to it. There is nothing, Umbopa, that he cannot do. There are no mountains he may not climb. There are no deserts he cannot cross. What do you know of those mountains? There is a strange land yonder, a land of witchcraft and beautiful things, a land of brave people, and of trees and streams and snowy peaks, and of a great white road. I have heard of it."
And without another word, he lifted his spear in salutation and returned towards the camp. Next day we made our arrangements for starting, Sir Henry, Good, myself, Ambopa, and Ventavotel. All next day we rested and slept, and at sunset ate a hearty meal washed down with tea, the last, as Good remarked sadly, we were likely to drink for many days. Then, having made our final preparations, we lay down and waited for the moon to rise. At last, about 9 o'clock, up she came in all her beauty, flooding the wild country with light, and throwing a silver sheen on the expanse of rolling desert before us, which looked as grand and quiet and as alien to man as the star-studded sky above.
"Gentlemen,"
said Sir Henry,
"before we start, let us for a moment pray to the power who is above, so that he may direct our steps according to his will."
So we started. We had nothing to guide us except the distant mountains. On we tramped silently as shadows through the night and in the heavy sand. The karoo bushes caught our feet and slowed us down, and the sand worked into our boots so that every few miles we had to stop and empty them. But still the night kept fairly cool, and we made good progress. Shortly afterwards something happened which, though it frightened us at the time, gave rise to a laugh. Good was leading, with the compass in his hand, and we were toiling along in single file behind him, when suddenly we heard the sound of an exclamation, and he vanished. The next second we heard all around us a most extraordinary noise, snorts, groans, and wild sounds of rushing feet. In the faint light we could see dim galloping shapes half hidden by the flying of sand. We stood amazed, nor was our amazement lessened when we saw Good speeding off in the direction of the mountains, apparently mounted on the back of a horse and hallooing wildly. In another second he threw up his arms, and we heard him come to the earth with a thud. We had stumbled upon a herd of sleeping quagga, and Good actually had fallen on the back of one, and the animal naturally enough got up and charged off with him. I ran towards Good, afraid that he was hurt, but to my great relief I found him sitting in the sand, his eyeglass still fixed firmly in his eye, rather shaken and very much frightened, but not in any way injured. On we went till at last the east began to blush. Then there came faint rays of primrose light that changed presently to golden bars, through which the dawn glided out across the desert. The stars grew light and lighter still, till at last they vanished. The golden moon grew dim. Then came ray upon ray of light flashing far away, till the desert was covered in a golden glow and it was day. Still, we did not stop, for we knew that when once the sun was fully up, it would be almost impossible for us to travel. About an hour later, we spotted a little pile of boulders rising out of the plain, and to this we dragged ourselves. Here we found an overhanging slab of rock carpeted beneath with smooth sand, which gave a most welcome shelter from the heat. Underneath this we crawled, and each of us having drunk some water and eaten a bit of biltong, we lay down and soon were sound asleep. From King Solomon's Mines by Sir H. Rider Haggard. Adapted. Berg, South African word for mountain. Expanse, a large open area of land, water, or sky. Earnestly, very serious or determined. Yonder, old-fashioned word meaning over there. Witchcraft, magic that can help or harm someone. Salutation, greeting. Hearty, here, large amount of food. Sheen, bright and smooth appearance. Alien, not from one's land, here, not of the earth. Karoo, short leafy shrub or plant. Toiling, moving slowly and with a lot of effort. Hallooing, shouting with fear or excitement, shouting loudly to call someone. Quagga, South African zebra, extinct since the 1880s, that had a yellowish-brown coat with darker stripes. Eyeglass, a single lens fitted in the eye. Glided, moved easily and smoothly. Overhanging, a part of a roof or a rock that sticks out over something below. Biltong, meat cut into long, thin pieces, flavored with spices and dried. Travelers used to carry this on long journey as it did not spoil.